Welcome everybody to the Enlightened and Uncensored Chats. Today, for this week, it is just going to be me again. I was guided in this direction, and it's going to be intuitive channeling. So whatever comes up that is guided for the group that is on here and/or what's guided in general. Next week, we are going to have Cynthia Rose again. So she has already been one of our guests. I'm excited to have her for next week. So again, welcome guys. Really excited that you're here. And today I haven't, normally I may get an idea of what I'm going into. Today I am not sure. I know for a lot of people, including myself, this past week-ish has been really crazy. For a lot of people, for me, it has been the same. So I do want to send out blessings to all of you that may be struggling right now with maybe a lot of emotions coming up, a lot of grief that's coming up. That's been really hitting the surface for a lot of people. Grief. So it could be grief or loss and that sadness and pain really filling up the chest. I know for myself, and grief comes in waves, guys. It's not, you have this loss and it just like you're done with it after. For me, I had a major cry 2 days ago, and I still have some left that I need to release. And it was a lot. It was very intense. And not only, am I, because we're all in this together, right? Not, I know not only am I, also my clients are going through some hard times. It could be grief. It could be a lot of emotions swelling up, anxiety coming up. I've been seeing that with a lot of people and a lot of ancestral work, a lot of ancestors coming in for and assisting people because we really are releasing and letting go of the past. We really are releasing and letting go of the past, whether this lifetime and or other lifetimes. So we shall see. And guys, feel free to comment as we move along. That was just kind of synopsis of kind of what's happening right now for a lot of people. Feel free to comment in the comment sections and I'll get to it whenever it is divinely guided. So let's see what is guided for today. Okay, so typically, if you don't know how I work, there's some times where I'll get visions and I'll see, where that's leading to, and that's kind of coming up right now, which is why I'm telling you this. So the first vision I'm seeing two flames, and I'm seeing a pyramid in between the two flames. And I've been seeing pyramids lately a lot with myself and with a few clients, depending on what we're working on, whether it's ancestral, whether it's past life, or wounded inner child, depending. And so with this vision, I'm seeing again two flames. Their flames are very, very potent, very, very powerful, these flames. And I'm seeing a golden pyramid in between. And the thing about these flames and what's coming up in this vision, again, I don't know where this is going, so we'll see. The thing about these flames is the power they are releasing. It's almost like, I want to say like the energy of the sun, but it's almost like a little bit different. So let's see what else with this. So the flames engulfing, and it's kind of like what it feels like on this earth right now. I know there's not necessarily flames going on right now, but a lot of us are feeling like engulfed in these emotions, in these powerful energies that are happening right now. And it's imagining is if we were engulfed in flames and we're reaching around and all we see are flames around us, we have nothing to grasp onto. And that's what it's feeling like for a lot of people. We're engulfed in this energy, in this power, in these emotions, and we don't have something to grasp onto. But what I'm getting with this is the flames. Say if you're imagining yourself engulfed in these flames, the flames are about letting go. Well, I've talked about this plenty of time. Is letting go of control and not being able to see. So let's see what else with these flames that wants to come. So what I'm seeing right now, guys, is remember that you always have your guides. It feels like you can't grasp anything. It feels like you can't see what's outside of the flames, but your guides are always there. They're angels, ancestors, whomever your guides are, they are always there, there to assist you if we ask for help. Okay. Now, whenever it comes to guides, I do want to say this. I always state only what's heart aligned. So if I'm connecting with a guide of mine, say it's an ancestor, say if it's an angel, say if it's a celestial being, whatever type of guide, animal spirit guide, whatever type of guide it is, I always say only what's heart aligned. So that's just a little tip for you guys. Okay. So what I'm seeing is like all kind of guides around encircling you or whomever. So this is what I'm seeing in the vision. And they're there for support because it may feel like for many of us that we are alone in this because we can't see anything, because we can't grasp what's on the outside of this flame. Again, it's like we're engulfed in this flame, but they are there reaching out. I'm seeing a lot of ancestors. I'm seeing ancestors that are ready to assist us. Let's see what else with this flame. The power of this flame and what I'm seeing is it is right now we are breaking down not and releasing not only the the things from this lifetime, which is why this stuff feels so freaking heavy, guys. Like I said, I had the biggest cry. I've never cried like that in that capacity. Like I was hurting so bad as I was crying, like my knees were like coming up to my chest and I was just letting it all out, but it felt like I was crying for centuries, not just, crying for grief of, and this was what it was. One thing that I was working on was releasing that grief of my loss of my dad and my brother, but it wasn't just that. It was crying for like what felt like centuries. It was crying for not only this lifetime, but my lineage, my ancestral lineage. And so what's happening right now is as we have these emotions coming up, that's almost feeling so overwhelming, or things that are happening almost feel so overwhelming. It's actually that we're breaking the cycles and the patterns of the ancestors of our lineage, going up. And that's why it seems like a lot is coming right now and it almost seems too much. So one of the themes that I've seen recently is being too much and that we can't handle it. So if you've gotten this like instinct or this inner child say, this is too much, I can't handle this, I can't do this. This is a belief. It is a belief from the past. Maybe we believe something was too much. Most likely it could be a wounded inner child. It could be from other lifetimes. Most likely, if it's up from other lifetimes, it most likely has occurred in this lifetime too. And this is a belief that we want to release. Now, we can release beliefs. Remember that, guys. Beliefs, I've taught many different ways of releasing beliefs. But an easy way for those of you who maybe haven't worked with me yet is writing it down and burning it, right? Any beliefs that you want to release. That's one way of doing it. Now, so belief that it's too much and that we can't handle it. The reason why this is not true is because we have grown so much. Whether we have really tried or not, our physical body, our internal self has really expanded more than we're actually giving it credit for. And so when we believe and we feel that we can't handle this amount of pressure, this amount of emotions, this amount of just that crazy energy, it's because we're basing ourselves from the past of what we felt like we could handle in the past. This is no more because our capacity to handle and our bandwidth to handle this stuff right now has increased majorly. So if you really go in and you ask your heart, am I able to handle this? And or is this too much? If you really ask your heart, you can see what you get. It's going into your heart, right? You can see what you get, but most likely it's a yes. It is a yes. So releasing the belief that this is too much, that you can't handle it, release those beliefs. It's time to let those go. Once you do that, you'll realize, holy crap, this is a lot, but I got this. I got this, right? And we have assistance everywhere that we have assistance around us. It's just are you open to that assistance? This is something, oh, okay, this is what's coming in. This is something that's really important for us right now. If we are blocking that assistance, I can see a lot of us being stubborn in this, including me. I was totally stubborn for getting assistance. I had blocked off my guides. I was assisting people, for a while with their guides, but I had blocked off my guides for a little bit for certain reasons that I've already worked through. And so I wasn't receiving that assistance, that help. So that's another thing that you can set into the universe, into manifestation, is I choose to receive assistance. I choose to receive, and I give myself permission to receive assistance only, which is of my highest benefit. Okay, guys. So add that in, especially if there's parts of you. It may not be, part of you. Your mind's like, yeah, I got this, but then maybe there's some wounded inner children, some past parts of you that are like, I don't want assistance. Like, I don't want to go through this. I want to resist. I don't want to look into what's going on, and I don't want to feel it because it freaking hurts, right? We may have those parts of us. So we do want to put into it and keep choosing to take in the assistance. Okay. Let's see what's next. So I'm seeing the flames, and the flames that were red, and how I saw it was red, is now purple. Okay, so the violet flame is coming up. Ooh, this is a good one for a lot of people. The violet flame is a flame that so one thing that a violet flame assists with, if you're not familiar with the violet flame, is it assists with past lives and releasing those past lives. So that the violet flame is something that you have worked with. You can call in the violet flame to help release some of those past lives that are no longer serving. Okay, so that came up for any of those who do work with the or have worked with the violet flame in the past. I feel like that's really actually important for quite a bit of you that are watching right now, is the message that I'm getting, which is why it came up. And that can help at least, peel off a couple of the heavy layers that are on, and help with a little bit of it. A lot of it, guys, whether we like it or not, is emotions within. Okay. So as much as we run from the emotions, that's the thing that is going to change how we feel on a major level. Yes, the violet flame is very helpful. Yes, the information that we get is very helpful. Those are layers and parts of this, but emotions and releasing those emotions is a big one, right? And feeling into those emotions, breathing into those emotions. This one's huge. Breathing into those emotions and to release them into those areas of the body to release it. Okay. Let's see. Anything else coming up, guys? So the purple flames. The golden pyramid now is turning silver. Okay. Here's the interesting part about silver. Oh, Syrians. So Syrians, guys, feel free, like, listen to your heart with what's guided, right? With what I say, with what anybody says, listen to your heart, listen to, what your guidance is telling you, take what resonates with you. But what I'm saying is silver. So silver, kind of that silver platinum, silver is the energy of silver is very, very, it's reflective. Okay, it's kind of like the moon. You know how, like, the sun gives you that energy, and that it's like that outgoing out the outer side of you, right? And the moon is like the inner aspect of you, and the sun is like your light and like that energy, and the moon is like the inner part and that darkness, right? But the moon is that reflection, and it's like that kind of mirror image. The same for the energy of the silver that I'm seeing with this pyramid. And let's see what else with this. Part of me, because I have so many different, I love that. I've always been attracted to silver and gold. Because I've had so many different people in the group, this is what I've done, and I'm going to say this. And we have so many different levels of where people are in their spiritual journey. I have in the past, and still have, not said as much, so I can try to really get to the group that in both aspects, but I can't do that anymore. I can only work on my capacity. Okay. So I am really, going back to where I was and who I am, which is working more on those higher levels. So silver has to do a lot with Syrians. So Syrians are coming up for a lot of people whenever it comes to healing, and that's that self-reflection part of it, the silver. So what else do they want to know? Okay. So the Syrians, okay, so Pleiadians are very like heart-based. Syrians are very, it's like a um a balance between the mind and the heart, to where it's not just like all the feminine and love. It's like this, there's a lot of like technology aspect to it. So there's a lot of mind to it, but there's a balance with the heart whenever it comes to the Syrians. And so, what I'm getting with this is right now we are balancing and working on balancing the mind and the heart. Okay. We've been working on this for a long time. We worked on the emotions and the heart for, well, first it's been the mind, right? We've been in our minds for so long, and we maybe started to work on the mental aspect of it, releasing beliefs and getting that understanding and spiritual understanding. Then, like for a few years and quite a bit, we started going really into emotions and the feminine aspect of it. So we have been working on them separately, and then would kind of come back in the past years, kind of been kind of back and forth depending on the month and where the energies were shifting, whether we were working more on the mental aspect of it or we're working on the emotional aspect of it. But what I'm feeling right now is that combination of the mental and the emotional, which is the masculine and the feminine. So I don't know if you've heard this from other people. Um, and and guys, I see the comments. I'm really excited to get to them whenever we come towards the end. So the feminine, the masculine is what's really, really, really coming up for right now. For me, for example, I've had the wounded masculine for a very freaking long time. What that means, and my ancestors on my dad's side has had wounded masculine where it was control with sexual energy. And so that's been coming up for me. And I see that coming up for quite a few people, but it's really balancing right now that masculine and that feminine energy. Um, so let's see, masculine and feminine energy. What else am I getting with this? Which is why the Syrians are coming up in assistance. If you do work with guides, and you can see if there are any Syrians in there, and they're assisting in the healing of the masculine and feminine, which is a lot of womb work. Okay, womb, right? So whenever we go into, and I know I'm giving a lot of information, but guys, this is me. Okay, if I'm guided to give this much information, I'm gonna do it. I can't hold back anymore. Um, Womb work has a lot to do with, interesting, I'm getting the word control, so I'm going to see where this goes. um, so the womb, okay, this is where, and you can think around the sacral area. If you know the chakras, right, there's the root, sacral, solar plexus as we're going up. So it's about, in the area of that where a womb would be, has a lot to do with power, right? The innate, the in our innate power, or an in power, like energetic power, physical power, it doesn't matter. Like it's the crude power, okay? And that is where we create. But what we're looking at right now is a lot of the control comes from the masculine energy, and that's wounded masculine, not the balanced masculine. The balanced masculine is not having issues with control, right? The wounded masculine, which is coming up for a lot of people, is the part where a lot of people are we're really working on that, to let go of control. That is the wounded masculine, because the wounded masculine wants to control. So the womb area has been shut down, and like we've created all kind of ways to block our own power from ourselves. Again, this is something that's happened to us. No, we have done it on some level to ourselves for different reasons, for different growth, for different learning experiences, right? So the womb, which is our power, um, and that innate power we have blocked from ourselves. And so there's a lot of womb work happening that I've been seeing too. And with that blocking our innate power, our individual power, that is what's opening up right now. But in order to unlock our power is to let go of that control. So for a lot of people, if that, and I mentioned this in the beginning, if there is anxiety, anxiety is stemmed with control. Anxiety is the fear of the unknown. Let me repeat this. Anxiety is a fear of the unknown, right? So if it's a fear of the unknown, if we don't know what's going to happen, we are going to control. This is the wounded masculine. So as we're releasing control, and again, I had explained the flames around us and where we can't seem to grasp anything because we want to grasp, we want to know, we want to understand in order to control. This is helping to release and heal, well, that wounded masculine, which is then balancing out our masculine and our feminine, which is also unlocking our power, because the less we control, the more we allow our power to come up, to come out, and to really be our true authentic selves. So the more we try to control, the more we are blocking our power. They go hand in hand. The more we try to control, the more we're blocking our power. So I know I gave quite a bit of information with this. I talked about the womb, masculine and feminine energies being balanced, the masculine being unbalanced right now, or like a lot of letting go of that control, and the masculine being unbalanced. A reminder, guys, is that all of this is coming up so that it is healed. Okay, like I said, I am going through, I'm going to say a shit ton right now, a shit ton of emotions, things that I've trapped in myself for so freaking long, and ancestral and other lifetimes. It's just been a freaking lot. But I've also controlled that for so long. So, and I've seen this with other people. That's why anxiety is coming up, right? Because we feel like we're trapped in this, flame of fire where we can't grasp anything. And so we can't grasp anything, we can't know. And if we can't know, we can't control. And then anxiety can come up, or we have so many emotions surfacing all because they're ready to be released and healed, which is great. This is all great. Remembering that too, I want to state that again. This is all really good. It just seems like it sucks because we're in the middle of it. But this is what actually brings us to that next level. But we may have all those emotions coming up, and we're wanting to try to control the emotions by suppressing them, by not expressing them. One way, for example, I was controlling my emotions is I didn't want to, quote unquote, burden my husband with the stuff that I was going through. So I didn't tell him what I was going through, and I would just have my emotions, like Tash and I have been working with each other to go through this stuff. And because we need assistance we're helping each other because we hide things from ourselves. That's what everybody does. But I didn't want to burden my husband with the stuff that I was going through, even though he knew I wasn't okay, because I was like what felt like buried with grief. He still knew that something wasn't okay, but I didn't tell him. And then I realized that holding back what I'm going through right now was only suppressing me more. I was trying to control our relationship. By not creating issues because I didn't want him to overreact, which we've worked through this like a long time ago. He's not going to overreact with it. And we had to work through that. Or a lot of times with men, they feel like they need to fix things. It's that masculine energy. It's not just listening and being there. It's, I need to fix this. So I finally explained to him, this is not for you to fix. And he knows this. Now, it's not for you to fix. I just want to express what's happening to me. And that was one way I was controlling. And I've been trying to control this show, for example. I've been trying to keep it at a certain way instead of just allowing it to be. So in what areas of your life are you trying to control? In what areas of your life are you trying to force? Okay. And controlling and forcing could be holding back. It could be pushing something forward that doesn't need to be pushed forward. It could be like keeping it in a certain way. Like this show, for example, I had my sights on this show as where I'm always going to have a guest, and we're going to go back and forth. and I had like certain things that I wanted with this show, and guess what? I'm getting pushed in a different direction with this just to let go of that control. So yes, I still feel to have this show, but maybe it's in a different way. So remember that whenever you're going into something, it doesn't have to be how you set it out to be. Let go of that control, see where it goes. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to stop doing whatever you're doing if it still feels good for you, but maybe you have to adjust it. Now, I'm going to go into the comments right now because the time is coming out or running out. So, all right, that's what's going on. Geez. Some guys, some of you, I can't see your names on here because it doesn't show all the names. So I'm sorry if I don't mention your name. I've always been attracted to silver over gold. Yeah, so that can actually tell you. So for example, I'm very attracted to gold. Gold, and I've said this in other trainings, but hey, might as well say it now. Gold is an enhancer and enhances any energies around. Silver is that reflector, right? So if you're attracted to silver, you can ask yourself, is there something that is needing to be reflected towards me? Is there something that I'm needing to see inside myself? So that's a little extra, because everything in our lives, guys, we don't have to look into everything in our lives. That would be tedious and too much, and we'd probably overthink. But if there's something that sticks out to us, most likely it's a way to tell us something of what's happening. So just kind of be an observer. We don't have to get sucked into it, but be an observer and see what comes up with that. Okay. Crystal says, what comes up for me is what people sow to us power, especially when it comes to fear. They make gods of money or put everything else first. Yeah. Fear results because of fear of losing control or losing circumstances that they want or enjoy. 100%. Let's see. I've been having the need to balance and stay connected to both heart and mind simultaneously. You're speaking about Syrians confirms to me that I have this guidance. Yes, that feels really good with that. Going with the flow of things helps to lessen the need to have control over life. Yes, 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 guys, y'all are awesome. They're freaking awesome. You don't have to put things in a box. There may be something better for that particular situation that you haven't thought about. Exactly. Exactly. Y'all are awesome. So I believe I'm not getting anything else. Thank you guys for coming. Let me know if you like the only one-on-one. I like to get y'all's viewpoints too. But if you like the having a guest every time, or if you want a guest sometimes and then me come on by myself sometimes, let me know what you guys like. And I'll do my best to serve you guys as long as it's in flow. And if there's any topics, guys, always feel free to reach out to me if there's any topics that you want to hear more about. And that is the end. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Remember, guys, we're going to get through this. I said this in my email. I felt like January was going to be wonky up until mid-February, which is kind of now. It was going to be kind of wonky and crazy energies. But I feel like from mid-February, we're going to start to see more clarity, which I'm already seeing with clients and I'm already seeing with myself. That we're getting a little bit more clarity and we're starting to get through and get to the little bit easier part, and then March is going to open up beautifully. Now, does that mean that things on earth aren't going to happen right now? The earth is still shaking up, things are going to happen. But if you really listen to the energies and go within your heart, that's kind of the predictions that I have seen. So we'll see what happens. So far they have happen in the way I've seen them, but we will see. I love both having guests on as well as this one-on-one to go with the flow, and what we need to know will show itself when the time is right, I think. Yes, go with the flow. So thank you for that feedback. That is very helpful. All right, guys, have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.